Alright, in this video I'll show you few nifty tricks on Emacs which probably come handy if you are living inside Emacs most of the time, and if you are not, still it will be useful to whoever get inside Emacs and try to do all the stuff. So basically, in two sections I'll tell you. Let me get into my Emacs. So for instance, I want to access I'm just opening a file. Okay, so these things will, yeah. So for instance, if I want to access some shell command, not access, just to see the output of shell command in quick time, because probably I'll be using something else, and one of the things may require to get the output of the shell command. So to quick way to get a shell prompt inside Emacs, all you have to do, hold down the meta, shift and exclamation. See, look at the bottom of the screen, it is prompting with a text called shell command, where you need to provide the shell command what you are usually give it on the terminal. For instance, if I write w, see, it provide you the result in the echo area. All you have to do, cancel it, just to press escape and it will go away. Okay, so again, if I invoke that meta, shift and exclamation, say if I want to access other command output, iostat, see, it is a very quick, convenient way to get some result out of the shell command, okay, without opening a terminal inside Emacs. I'm not saying it will be useful for some other purpose, but you can write all the stuff whatever you do on shell on a terminal, say running a for loop or providing some rudimentary commands or something like that. You can easily get the output on this echo area, buffer area, so you can get a sense of what is going on. Okay, so this is one. The second thing is called a package, which is called CRUX, CRUX, which is basically a Emacs functionality written in such a way that it could be easily accessible to the normal people. If you install that package, I'll show you where you can get it. I have already installed it. Okay, so I'm just giving you information about this. So to it, that particular package provide you so many information about the system, and it has so many key combination to access various things. Out of those, I selected two for this demonstration. One to say, for instance, you are inside Emacs like I am right now, and I wanted to know what are my shell files. You can also customize it, but there are some predefined file which are having a standard location in the system, and it is assuming you are running that particular shell. So I have bounded a key to access that particular accessibility to find out the shell files. For that, I have bounded those keys, Control C, IS. Look at the bottom of the screen. in the echo area, it found out what are the shell file, and it is enlist. These are all enlisting here. You can see 4 files are enlisted: bashrc, .profile, bash logout, and etc profile. So these are the file. It is thinking you can easily manipulate that through the code. But all I'm trying to say, it's a convenient way to get the shell related file. So most of us, we run bash, right? So bash rc is a kind of file where we put our customization through which it will initialize our work environment, right? So it is frequently accessible to add, to extract, to delete, and all these things. So profile is, one of them is directory, one of them is file. Bash logout, you provide few information, few tasks while logging out of the system. Before logging out, actually, you do several tasks just to make sure that your system are in a sane state. That means next time you boot up, next time you get into the environment, you will get back the exact same behavior what was there before the shutdown. So those kind of stuff you can put into that file. It's a known fact, right? I'm just reiterating for your purpose. If it is keep out of your mind, it might brush things up for you. Okay, this is one thing. Then second one is even more exciting. Say for instance, for some unknown reason or some valid reason, whatever the way you think, Control X, Control F, I'm trying to find a file. For instance, I'm going adventurously to the etc folder. To go to the etc folder. People generally don't go there. All the configuration files there, right? You have no business there, and fiddling with it required so much of information in hand, right? Anyway, so I'm inside it now. If I write, let's see, and say for this demonstration purpose, I choose any random file, most probably not so important one, because I'm not running NFS, so I'm picking up those files, exports. Okay, so if I open now, I go down to the bottom of the file. Let me write some rudimentary text. Say for instance, this is a read-only buffer. So to turn on the writing mode, all I have to do, Control X, Control Q. So look at the bottom, it says read-only mode disabled in current buffer. So basically what I did with this keystroke, which is Control X and Control Q, to turn the read-only buffer in a writable mode. Now if I write some rudimentary text, this is a file which can be used by the NFS server, some sort of junk test, right? I'm just writing it for the demonstration purpose. So once I write it, now the fun part begins. So the tendency is to save it, right? So let me try Control X, Control S, and it is saying the file export is write protected. Try to save anyway. So if I do it a brute force method, if I write yes, it just said it cannot write the file and put me inside a debugger, which is explicitly saying to me there is an ACL, access control list, and it is saying operation not permitted. I'm not supposed to write that. that's a root privilege file. How how could a normal user can write in a system administration file? Simple. It's a protection mechanism, right? So if I kill the debugger, but somehow I'm stubborn enough, I think I need to write this anyway. Okay, so all I have to do, as I mentioned, I'm using, as you saw what I showed you a few minutes back, I use a package called CRUX, which provides various methods. It also provides a method to open the file as root, so you can write the right protected file with the help of that. And I have bounded that particular function with the keystroke Control C IR. Now if I try to save the file, see, look at the bottom of the screen. It is saying CRUX reopen as root mode enabled. That means now I have got a super user privilege. That means I have been given grant to fiddle with the file real time. So now if I have typed some text in it, right? Now if I try to save the file, and if I say yes, okay, all right. So it is saying now if I do like this, okay, it seems it is still not allowing me. Why is that so? So I'm putting more text, and okay, AC Linux is prohibiting me to do that. I think CRUX package is written in such a way it is not taking uh, action against the AC Linux restriction, because it put me in a debugger, and it provide, as you can see on the bottom screen, that AC Linux context is nil 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 nil, which is that so? It is also saying okay, okay, now it seems like it is misbehaving. Let me try one more time. if I go here and if I open that same file, oh hello, yes, now see, it is asking me for my digital key. Once I put my digital key, secret GPG key, because now I realize what is happening. All my entire etc directory under version control git, as I mentioned in my other videos, that I use a software called HCKeeper, which is basically a wrapper around git, and all my HC file are under HCKeeper. So it was failing to get the version control stuff. As you can see, when I try to open the file again, it is asking me for my git authentication to that specific directory. Right? Now I am inside that file. If I try to save, this is a testing phase, right? I wrote something as I already authenticated myself in the git revision where this file resides, which is essentially the etc file directory. And I also provide the super user password to get into this directory. So now if I try to save it, see, it's saved. So it took me little bit of time because I missed out. I forgot that my all etc file and under version control or HCKeeper, right? So that is why it was not allowing. Now it is doing its certain way. It is also doing a tram thing locally. You can see at the bottom, I believe you saw it, right? It was the echo area was flashing with the message, the trump syntax for local SSH, right? Which is what it does. So now I save the file, right? And I'm sure if I visit it again, if I say, for instance, if I close this file and now if I want to open it again, I'm doing it for my sake also, because that was the misstep I shown to you for in the first place, and it was completely skip out of my mind that I put some sort of version control system and I didn't take account into that. That is why it was throwing error and put me into a debugger saying all this stuff. So but it is good now. I have been reminded. Now let me get on one more time, I just to make sure I'm doing it right. So when you see, you probably make sure that you understand every step I am doing. Okay, see, look at the bottom. It is tram inserting the root sudo root localhost etc export done. So already I have provided my GPG authentication to the git repo and the local administrative root privilege to this machine it is not asking me again to provide the authentication, but it is showing in the echo area what is the what it is doing, what protocol it is using, right? So if I go here again and if I write something again, I'm just doing it for the demonstration purpose. This is pretty awkward to be reminded like this. Say I write this sentence, right? Now it is again, it says tramp session out. It certainly asks me again if I try to save this file. Control X, Control S. No, it wrote. It cached my authentication, so it wrote it. You can see at the bottom, right? It wrote the file. Fine. So it is a very good protective mechanism that anybody can get into it and fiddle with the system related file. Not about the intention, inadvertently or by not knowing it. Say somebody get into that file from Emacs and try to modify it, they will be restricted unless they provide the authenticate themselves, or they know the super user privilege on that particular machine, whether it's local or remote. I'm showing this all in local, right? It could easily be happen on the remote machine. If I'm on somewhere else across the globe in some server, if I have done the same thing, it will provide me the same sort of debugging information, which will give you kinds of heads up that the stuff I'm trying to achieve, which is not the correct way of achieving it. So there is a way to achieve it. The second time, it provide the prompt and all this stuff, so we can get to it. This is a nice way. So the package CRUX provides so many. If you wanted to know more about the package, I can provide you the URL here. Here is a GitHub page which collect the CRUX package. Okay, you can, I showed you, you can install it like this. Okay, and I have, there are plethora of commands. I have just shown you two. Okay, one is bumpy because of my fault and one is smooth. So these are the rest of the commands or function this package provide with the keybinds. If you are inclined to test it out, go ahead, install it and try it out. It certainly made your life much more easy. Okay, so I hope this will help you to get along with the stuff which time to time needed. So it also provides so many stuff in. I know this video will contain other stuff which has performed, like Tramp and all this stuff. I'll cover it in the future video. I didn't have a plan to, but situation was forced me to do this kind of stuff. But anyway, you get a glimpse of it, right? I hope this will be useful for you. Thanks for watching.